Hello everyone and welcome back to Joy's Creative Finger. I've built this huge mansion for a rich dude and there is a live build at the end. So if you want it in your town, it's yours. So stay tuned for that. And what you see here is I've played around with the balcony feature to give the build some sort of a shape. There is a big driveway in front of the garage here and a bit of a red splash of color to break up the black exterior that you see here. The entrance to the house is right where Ruby, the lady of the house, is standing down below. And this is what would have looked like a floating room. It was a floating room, but now I've made it a stable feature and it's still meant to be a floating outdoor area. It's also a loft house on the side here. We'll get a better look at that later. And we have this massive pool area. This entire section here is set out for a lot of luxurious purposes, as you can see. And the only way out to this area where the round in-ground spa is from within the building. Okay, this is the loft for a couple of rooms inside of the house. The reason I changed this to a stable feature is because the floating rooms didn't allow for me to make use of the room above. It just wouldn't work, and finally I was quite happy to settle for a house that didn't have that glitch whatsoever, and it worked out a lot better. And you'll see with the live build how it's much easier and it's turned into a loft, and it's much better. If you visit my town right now, you would still see it as a floating room and it's no good. Right, now Ruby is going to take us on a tour of her property. She lives with her amazing husband Mark. They haven't got any children as it stands. They're just living luxuriously, and there are other rooms in the house that have been set out to look like it's lived in, but you know, it's just for guests. I'm going to take you through the front part of the garage instead of the main entrance because I'll come out there at some point. So the garage is quite luxurious, as you can see. And the first door on the left here, well, on the right, is a restroom. And further in, through to the back of the garage, is the door that leads into the laundry section behind here. Okay, so you can see that it's quite luxurious in the space. They've got marble for the floor within the garage space. You have this blue pool table where they would sort of have pool parties, and they have this glamorous section here to throw the car keys down. Now, a couple of cars could fit in here, but I just put in the one, so they do have a number of cars. Just imagine that. Let's stop her from what she's doing. Now, you can work your way in from the garage into this space here, which is a living room. It's formal in a way. And then this is meant to be the entrance when, say, guests come to visit them. And this is what it looks like. So with the help of the windows, the door entrance is centered, as well as the entrance from the garage as well. And I just love the way that it's turned out. There's a piano here for entertaining, right? And you can see that this would sort of be a space where they could have guests, party through the night, play pool, and, you know, admire Mark's fancy cars, you know? And further on from this space, you have that area that should have been a floating room space, but instead there is a sort of makeshift gym for Mark, but it's an outdoor space. This is how you get into the pool house, which is sort of like a spa house. There is a toilet situated in a separate room over there, and as I say, it's like a pool house, but they come in here to get groomed, treated, get massages. Members of the public or staff that would work with them would come here and groom them, and you can see Mark getting his hair cut for a special event tonight. And I thought I'd stick in the fan. And on the flip side here, you have a sink and shower area to, you know, get cleaned up from using the pool, or perhaps the creams and oils that we use to give them a, you know, great massage. So that's what this space is. And then you work your way out to, or come in from, this area where you have the in-ground spa. And as mentioned earlier, it's enclosed, and the only way into the space is from within the pool house. And there's an area out here to get a massage too. And on the flip side, we have a lounge chair. They could have a nice get-together here too as well. It's an entertaining space downstairs, and where you have this sort of gym, which is an outdoor space, it would cater to the pool area. Maybe a bar could be set out there or something, you know? Right, so that's the entire ground floor, and then this is the way up to the main living quarters for the family. So this is an actual formal living room space, right? I was about to say informal. And when you come up here, the only real splashes of color is gold against the marble. That's how glamorous they've chosen to set out their space. Now there is a room over on the side here, and I love the way it's been put together. I just really love the brick with the black and a pop of green. And there is a computer in here. They've got no children, remember, but it's set out in a way that's lived in. This is the loft area with a light. And the loft is shared with the next room, just as you'll see the bathroom. So this is how you get into the closet space for this room. And then you have a door that leads into a Jack and Jill bathroom. So it's shared with the next room that we're going to look at in a second. And yeah, over on the side, they have a shower unit. They don't have a tub in here. And then we have a toilet unit on this side and lots of towels and so on. Right. Now this is the way back out to the closet space for the next room, and it's sort of set up in a more feminine way, maybe for a younger child or so. And this is the colors I put together in here, and I'm really happy with it. The loft space is the same as the opposite room, and yeah, this is basically what this room above turned out to be. And then you work your way back out to this living area. So Ruby and Mark usually sit out here to enjoy a good film or two, and I decided to use the cinema chairs for this space, and I think that was a great idea. I got tired of using the regular seats. I thought this was different, over the top, and they've got that massive screen there and some sound speakers for the entire area to boom with the sound of the film that they'd be watching, and then glass on opposite sides to enjoy the view. I just think this was a good idea. I'm very pleased with it. And then we have the massive, glamorous, entertaining kitchen and dining area with a TV. And they have a cook. You can imagine the luxurious life that they have. I mean, they've got no kids, but still she has a chef because her husband wants, her full attention and just doesn't want her involved in anything but to get herself looking pretty all the time. And this is basically the setup that I have for this space. I'm in love with it, I have to say. The table, the dining table. I really want a dining table with that shine. And the seats are quite lovely, but you can't really use those. So you've got to use proper white dining chairs if you want your Sims to really use that. And this is an overview for the entire space. I really like this house. Can you tell? I really do. But I have to recreate it in my town without the floating room structure, because the one you'd see if you visit has the floating room. But I went on to tidy it up just before recording, and then demolish it to do the live build for you. This is the way up to their room, and let's just pop up the stairs. And it's interesting, the stairs comes up onto a balcony, but you can remove the balcony and it would just come up into a hallway that then leads into their bedroom. So it depends on what you want, but this is just how I wanted the shape of the house to turn out. And this is their beautiful bedroom. Now I am hoping that The Sims FreePlay would give us a picture of a lady. So a picture of a man on the side and a picture of a woman on the other side, but I wanted to keep the gold theme going, and this is what they have. It's very lush in the space and very edgy. They've got hints of gold as well with the grays and the blacks, so lots of texture around the same color swatch, and their individual closet spaces are behind glass, so to say, doors, and with the remote control you have to imagine that the doors would pop open, but those are windows. There's a door out to the balcony for their private use, and we have a door on either side into the bathroom. So instead of having separate bathrooms as most expensive homes do, I just created two doors to get in on either side when they get out of bed into the same space, and they've got a big window and a great view. So this is the master room. I love it. And then we come out to their private balcony area here where they can sit down, at a height, have a glass of wine, talk about the future. If they'll ever have any kids, then change this all around. And then of course there is a separation from viewing the loft space that looks down into the other rooms. And that's the complete tour for you. Now, I'm obviously going to go down here and there giving you an overview of the entire house. As usual, most of you say you want an overview so you can see where things are set out. So I take my time, turn around here and there, and you can be inspired on how you want to lay out things in the different rooms. So that's what we're doing now. And then in no time at all, we're going to get started with the live build. But here is what I always ask of you, that if you choose to recreate this in your town, that's great. But if you choose to upload it to any social media platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and so on, then don't forget to use the hashtag JoyceCreativeFinger when doing so. If you're new to the channel, haven't subscribed, and you want to, please do so. And don't forget to click on the little notification bell that will alert you as soon as a video goes live. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon in the next video. Bye!